Yes.
And then
Yep, and then you should
this
just be
will
able
move
to,
it to the next one.
you should be able to just.
Okay, hi everyone. This is Genevieve Alobi. I'm an assistant professor at the economics department with John. So I was part of the AI fellowship group, and we were supposed to create an activity, an AI integrated activity, course activity. So basically incorporating AI into an assignment we would give in the classroom or out of the classroom. So with mine, I did something, a mini project kind of. So they were supposed to work on it in stages. So I started then. So next slide.
Click the left one.
The left one.
There you
There you
go.
go.
Okay. So like I said, connecting the course content we use, developing a learning activity. And it was supposed to be active and inclusive learning strategies, and students should be able to critically reflect on whatever they are doing with AI. So, and finally, we should give formative and summative feedback. Some form of feedback, if you will do a formative and summative, that would be great. So challenge here was to merge a labor economics assignment with AI. Okay, so the framework I used was TILT, Transparency in Teaching and Learning Methods. This helps students. I think Stephanie and John have presented on this numerous times, so I kind of incorporated it. We could do this or UDL to put the inclusive part in. It helps students understand the how and then the why of the assignments. So we want the student to be able to understand, why should I do this? Why should I do it this way? And, why can't I take the short form to do it? Why can't I just put it in AI and then it spits out something for me? So for economics and business, we are kind of facing this unique challenge, or maybe the sciences as well, compared to writing, because most of our assignments are going to be problems, and they can just put it in there and then it spits an answer for them and then they write the answer. They don't show the steps. They know they are going to get a C at least, or a D, but they pass the class, right? So how can we convince or encourage our students to actually do the work, do the work manually? So that was my focus for this. So using TILT, I was going to, there should be transparency regarding what's the purpose of this assignment, what skill am I developing in this economics class, and what are the expectations of the teacher. They should be transparent. The students should know what the learning outcome would be and be able to evaluate themselves, assess themselves that they've achieved that. It should be inclusive, so step-by-step, clear definition of the task, and then I incorporated peer review for the formative assessment. And then learning, of course, through active engagement, the ability to do over and then reflect on AI use. Okay, so brief labor econ session. So they are going to apply what is known as the human, I thought John would be here to support me because we teach this together. Apply human capital model to education investment decision. Education is great because that's what we are all doing, right? Everyone is investing in education. And as the years go by, students are not sure, is this worthy? Should I move from high school to college? Should I move from college to, graduate school? And they are thinking about whether they will get their returns on investment. So we teach that in labor economics. And it's basically your cost. You are going to put some upfront costs, right? Tuition, dorm, food, whatever it is you're going to pay for, but there are some upfront costs. And then you're thinking about the future benefits of this. And then we use the time value of money to make this decision, right? Because as time goes by, in a couple of years, we're expecting maybe inflation. So is my money going to be lower than, what I expect if I'm going to get $100,000 compared to now where I get $50,000? Is it worth the investment, thinking about inflation and other costs, right? So one skill we teach them is the NPV, the net present value of future earnings, right? And then minus the cost, because you're calculating your lifetime returns and then subtracting the costs from today. So we teach them to use a discount rate, and this is going to be personalized. It includes family obligations, right? It's like the time value of money, higher inflationary expectation, greater financial risk, or do I have some urgent personal cash needs? All of this is going to inform whether or not I should invest in education, right? The next year of education or the next 2 years, master's, 4 years, an undergrad. And some people are going to have a higher discount rate than others. If you have a higher family obligation, for instance, a parent who has cancer, a sick child, you are thinking of the time value of money, right? Maybe we need money now, so I would rather work at BJ's and make some money rather than invest the little I have or take a loan to, have that 4-year degree. So some people will have a higher discount rate, and that's the big learning objective kind of over here. So if you let AI do the work for you, it's not going to take into consideration your personal situation kind of, right? So you want a positive net present value so that you would invest in education. The higher your discount rates, the less valuable future income is going to appear today, so that this long-term education investment looks less attractive. So I use AI to generate that picture there. So at 3%, you look really happy, 7%, and then 12%. And my kids were laughing so badly because this looked funny, right? So, after applying the human capital model to education investment decision, they will learn how to calculate NPV manually and then use AI as well. And then we'll critique the AI outputs and its assumptions, right? And develop an ethical and data-informed reasoning. So this was the project overview for them. They will collect some research data, 3 educational. So this is assume, right? Assume 3 educational parts: high school diploma. After high school, what job could you do? How much would you be paid? A bachelor's degree, what job would you take? How much would you be paid? Master's degree. And they were supposed to go to Indeed or any job website and get real data on this as if they were going to find a job today. And then after that, they would do an AI cost estimation of what it will cost to obtain that degree. So high school, if you didn't pay anything, then it's going to be 0. Bachelor's degree, you incorporate whether you have funding and all of that. So it's going to be your personal story. And then a master's degree, assume it depends on your assumptions, whether you're going to go to an Ivy League school, all of that has to go into your cost estimation. And then they would calculate the NPV, the net present value of their future stream of income for high school separately, bachelor's degree and then a master's degree. And then they would do it manually and then with the AI, and then they would revise or review critically whatever the AI output is. Okay, so the AI integration points were going to be for the cost estimation of the various education parts, choosing a discount rate, which you are supposed to prompt the AI accordingly so that you'll be able to get the discount rate that actually reflects your personal situation, and then the NPV calculation. And then I kind of provide them with a structured AI prompt guide. So basically, you're going to use AI both as a tool for the calculation and then an object of critique. I gave an example here. So for a 4-year public college, the cost is going to be tuition fees, book, room, board, other expenses. And on average, it could be anywhere between this. So what would you go for? Depends on your kind of personal situation. Okay, so for the manual versus AI, it could look like this. So manual being the yellow and then the AI being this. AI could calculate your NPV lower than what it actually should be or more, depending on how you prompt it. But you would only know there's a difference if you actually did the manual calculation. And then there's going to be a reflection and revision cycle where students will have peer review. They will look at each other's work at various stages, and I'll show it in my assignment. And this is supposed to promote self-assessment, and then that's learning. Okay. And then, of course, what am I expecting out of this? Improved AI prompt crafting and then economic, as well as economic modeling, enhanced critical thinking and confidence, and students' reflection to show a mindset shift and ethical awareness. So while AI will be helpful in calculating NPV quickly, it may make unrealistic assumptions about your persona. So building the skill of actually setting up your economic model, meaning that you choose your own discount value based on your personal situation, choose the kind of schools you would attend, and so that you will know what cost it would have. So if you choose an Ivy League versus average versus, then the cost is going to be different. So being able to set that up, and then being able to that will help you check and critique the AI results. Then you can iterate and then get a deeper understanding. Okay. So TILT is going to ensure that I set up the assignment in this way. All right, so I'll show you the assignment.
Okay, so we're gonna make this go away for right now. And then it's this, right? This is
Yes,
our,
yeah.
okay. Oops, nope, that's not it. Don't, yeah. John's gonna watch this recording and cringe. Just at me, not at you, right?
Yeah, so this is what the assignment kind of looks like.
Oh,
I'll,
hang on,
of course, take out my name and everything before I give it as an assignment.
hang on. Somehow your screen sharing is paused.
Oh.
Sorry. Right here. I don't know why I did that. Okay, now we should be good. Sorry, Genevieve.
Yeah.
Okay,
Is it still recording?
it should be.
Okay. So that's the activity I submitted for grading, which Stephanie graded and gave feedback, and I improved. So we were using the summative feedback thing. So for students, this will be helpful using TILT. So I provide the purpose of this assignment or this mini project. They know what learning objectives they are obtaining. So applying human capital to real career data, learning how cost returns and discount rates shape education choices. And then I incorporated the AI learning objectives, calculate NPV both manually and with AI, practice AI prompting, critique AI outputs, and reflect on AI's role. So they know exactly what they are learning from AI. Give and receive peer feedback, and then revise for continuous improvement. Skills you will practice similar but more hands-on. Assignment overview, you perform a structured investigation into 3 educational paths, diploma, bachelor's, and master's. Calculate each path's 20-year NPV of earning to identify which path maximizes your lifetime income. You alternate between manual analysis and then AI-assisted analysis, and reflect critically on AI's role and accuracy. You will primarily use the free version of ChatGPT, so that is supposed to allow for being inclusivity, so not everyone can afford the paid version. And then I added that you should review the AI best practice piece to learn more about AI use, which is on the SUNY Oswego website. And then the task, so I break down the task for them. Task A, they choose the career path. So they go on to any job platform and then find these jobs and then find how much income they are going to make. So they do that job search, Indeed, LinkedIn, Glassdoor, wherever they can do that. They don't use AI for that. And then B, after completing, Step 2, they go onto AI and then they find the cost of pursuing these education paths. So we talked about that already. And then they choose and justify their discount rates. So anywhere between 5% and 15%. Anyone who chooses a higher discount rate has a good reason for valuing money more in the present. And then after they do the task A and B, we have a formative assessment. So they bring whatever work they have, their career paths, and then the course they got from AI. And then for the first time, we sit together in groups and then we critique each other. And I'm going to give instructions as to how to provide peer feedback so that they know exactly what they are critiquing. And so there's a checklist for the peer review. Are job data and salaries realistic? Did they refine the AI prompts effectively? Suggestions, is the discount rate personal enough? Is it well justified? That kind of thing. And then they go ahead and do the MPV calculations. They do it with manually and then with AI. And I kind of include this. I already do this with TILS for my normal assignments. Why does this assignment matter? Like I said, because you could just let AI do everything for you. So helps build your analytical confidence, enhances your critical evaluation of AI, kind of explain to them. And then I show them what to do. This more economics. They do the calculation. They do it with AI. And then we do another peer review for that second step. And then finally, they write their economic analysis and takeaway for everything. And yeah, and kind of still the TILT stuff. So transparency, so length of the assignments, clarity, honesty, all of that. And then I tell them what the submission and revision process will be for feedback, both formative and then summative. This is the grading rubric. They know exactly what they get. And then supplemental resources. So this will be like a page from a textbook of giving them specific information, an example of the assignment. And then the AI prompt guide. So be specific, instead of simply saying estimate education costs, try using being very specific about what you want. And yeah, that will be it. Okay, questions?
So how long did this whole process take for the students? Like how much class time did it take?
So we haven't yet rolled it out. We are going to do that in the fall. And this is a mini project. So
Okay.
it's going to be I think we are going to do it after the fall break. So to take the second half.
Oh, this is the whole second half of the course.
Yes. This is not going to take all of class time. This is a mini project they are working on.
Okay.
So like every 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I think we would dedicate some class time to do the feedback.
Okay.
But this is what they are doing on their own.
And what percentage of the grade on this is the percentage? You said it was 12.5% of the overall grade?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's equivalent to my midterm, which is
Okay.
100 points. Yeah. Questions? Yeah.
So you said like you'd be working it sort of as a mini project for the whole second half, and that every 2 weeks or so you'd be checking in. Would those check-ins be done in the class with AI on hand for the
Yes.
students to compare and everything?
Yes, so they're basically going to break their assignments, whatever task A through E. They're going to work on task A and B, and then we do feedback in the classroom, peer feedback. So dedicate about 20 minutes of class time, 30 minutes to check what we are doing, and then give the feedback, and they can redo that. And then after the next 2-3 weeks, we meet again.
So like as far as the grading goes for a system like that, is it you have to meet the deadline every 2 weeks, otherwise you lose points, or can you catch up later if you didn't meet an earlier deadline but caught up later?
I'm not giving points with this design. I'm not giving points for, what do you
The
do?
checks.
Yeah, I'm not giving points for the checks. You're thinking that could
I don't know. It feels like
be my.
it's a lose-lose. If you make it point-based every check, then you're going to have students, complaining that, something came up and said, I lost 10 points for something that was out of my control. But if you don't give them points, then
Yeah.
you're going to have everybody waiting to the last week anyway to do all
Yeah,
this.
so there should be some form of incentive. I haven't thought about how to put that in yet because this is a project I already gave in my labor econ class. I'm just now including the AI portion. How I do it is similar. So we do part of it, we meet in class, or I sometimes let them submit part of it in a discussion. If it's an online class, I told you I teach it online and in person. They submit the half of their work in the discussion, and then I tell them you have to reply to 2 people, give this feedback for I think it's like 5 bonus points. So in my experience, everyone submits it. Maybe I have 1 or 2 students who would say it, but once they see others are doing it, they normally would turn it in. But I understand that maybe some form of incentive. Yeah.
Or built-in extension if they can't.
Oh, of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
There should be flexibility.
Okay,
So you should report back about after you finish the course, see how it works,
How it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what parts worked.
Yeah. Okay.
That could be next AI day.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay.
all right, well, we're gonna wrap up so
Thank
the
you.
video has time to render. Thank you, Genevieve.